Welcome back to another episode of Stuck in Nostalgia. Today we're not laughing at anything. We're gonna try out some candy, and I'm excited to try this candy. By the way, I'm just gonna do that. So let's start with Mike and Ike's. Okay, Mike and Ike's. I opened them yesterday. I was like feeling them. So let's go and kind of learn about Mike and Ike. So Mike and Ike's, they launched in 1940. The company is called Just Born Inc., the same company that makes Peeps and Hot Tamales. Peeps, that's cool. I didn't know that. Hot Tamales is actually one of my other favorite candies. Next to Skittles. Founded by Russian immigrant Sam Born, Just Born is based in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and the flavor lineup is cherry, lemon, strawberry, lime, and orange. And these fruits are flavored chewy candies with a smooth, slightly glossy coating designed to last longer when you chew. The origin of Mike and Ike name is a bit of mystery. Some theories include a reference to a vaudeville act called Mike and Ike. They look alike. A play on the names of two unknown candy makers, a nod to World War II era cartoon characters or comic strips. Popularity and nostalgia factor hugely popular in the 80s and 90s, especially in movie theaters, lunchboxes, known for their bold flavors, fun packaging, and mix and match candy box begins. In 2012, the company launched a mock breakup campaign where Mike and Ike split up over creative differences. This brought renewed attention to the brand, and Mike and Ike's often show up in pop culture, from convenience store scenes in films to school vending machines. Kids would sometimes sort them by color or trade their least favorite flavors, typically lemon or lime. Actually, funny enough, those were my two favorite flavors, lemon or lime. Or there was like a lime and lemon ice, like those ice shavings. Those were really good. And I'll be honest, I probably like the lime better, but I'm gonna go ahead and try the lime. Okay. Even though I had them yesterday, so I don't really need to try them with you guys. They're one of my personal favorites. I love the juiciness and the tanginess of Mike and Ike's. But to be honest, it's between the cherry or strawberry that are like my favorite flavors now, more so than back in the day when I liked lemon and lime. Okay, let's move on. I believe it's to nerds. As you can see, I'm in different clothes today, but that's because I had to film on separate days due to being busy. So, next on the list is Sweet Tarts. I don't know if you guys remember Sweet Tarts, but they were something I liked, but they weren't necessarily my favorite personally. But I do remember them being very part of being pretty popular when I was a kid. And Sweet Tarts were invented by Menlo F. Smith in 1962. He was the CEO of Sunline Inc., later Sunmark. They were created as compressed tablet versions of Pixie Sticks to offer a less messy alternative for kids and parents. They were introduced in 1963 by Sunline Inc., the same company behind Pixie Sticks, and Lick and Made, and which is now a Fun Dip. Oh, that's cool. I love Fun Dips. I don't know why I'm opening it this way. What is a surprising connection between the Sweet Tarts and the Pixie Stick? Sweet Tarts were made using the same basic sweet and sour formula found in Pixie Sticks, just compressed into solid tablets. This made them cleaner and more portable. Actually, I didn't know that fact, so that's pretty cool, but I do remember Pixie Sticks. And I remember licking the top so much that the sugar would just end up getting stuck and it wouldn't be good to eat anymore. Let me know in the comments below if that happened to you. But how did Sweet Tarts evolve from a powdered candy to tablets? Again, like we had mentioned, parents, they complained that they were too messy for the kids, and so that's why they made these. How did the original marketing position Sweet Tarts? They were they more for kids or teens. The marketing primarily aimed at kids, but with bold flavors and brightening packaging, it also appealed to teens. Over time, branding evolved to target nostalgic adults too, like myself. And why do you think the Sweet Tarts flavor combo appealed to so much in 1960s? The flavors were bold and different from typical sweet-only candies. At the time, it gave a fun, slightly over punch and made it stand out, especially for a younger audience craving something new. And then the flavors that were included, and if any of them discontinued. So the original flavors were cherry, grape, lemon, lime, and orange. Lemon and lime seemed to be such a popular thing back in the day, but I still love lemon and lime. I didn't know Sprite was lemon lime, I'll be honest. I didn't know that one last year. This was so dumb. I had no idea. I don't know why I didn't know this, but I never really displayed the flavor, and my boyfriend was like, do you mind getting another box of Sprite? I was like, sure. Do you want the lemon lime flavor? He's like, what? What are you talking about? It's always been lemon lime. And I was like, what? No, it hasn't. So we had this argument, and I was like in so much shock because I was like, wait, what? But it was, so the lime was replaced with green apple over the years. Sorry, that was just a little off topic, but that is something I did not know, and I think that's hilarious. Okay. And the formula or texture changed over the decades. While the core flavors remained similar, new textures were introduced, like chewy sweet tarts, ropes, gummies, and giant chewy sweet tarts, broadening the brand's appeal. What major changes happened when Nestle and later Ferrero took over? Nestle acquired the brand in 1980s and folded it into Wonka's candy line. Later, Ferrero Candy acquired the Sweet Tart brand in 2018, revitalizing its image with updated packaging and new products like tangy ropes. What makes Sweet Tarts a nostalgic candy for many people? Many Gen X and Millennial kids grew up with Sweet Tarts in their lunch boxes, Halloween bags, or school vending machines. More so, probably in my lunch boxes. I don't remember what was in my Halloween bags. I was too excited. Okay, I was excited for the chocolate and the Skittles. Their distinct flavor and chalky texture. Oh, I was also excited for a can of pop when they give you cans. That was awesome. That was a nice treat. Their distinct flavor and chalky texture are instantly recognizable and tied to childhood memories. How Sweet Tarts appeared in any film, shows, or pop cultures. While not always front and center, Sweet Tarts have shown up in retro-themed media, 80s, 90s nostalgia packs, and candy stores in movies. They're also frequently mentioned in best nostalgic candy lists. I don't remember the first time ever trying the Sweet Tart. I just remember having it here and there, but it was not necessarily my personal favorite. I didn't really have a favorite. No, that's a lie. I say Skittles, but I love peaches. Peaches were actually my favorite. Okay, let's try some Sweet Tarts. Kind of remind me of Rockets. So we are trying. I actually don't know what flavor this is. It says global on it. Global on one side and local on the other. And here's my childhood. Funny they don't say the flavor. Okay. We'll do one more. The blue. I don't know why. The blue of a lot of candy have always been my go-to for some reason. I like the blue better. Maybe I'll try all of them. Blue, purple, green, and yellow. Okay, I like the purple. The purple is beating the blue. I taste the green apple. And then this is lemon. I don't know if you saw that. I still think I gotta go with the purple. But I do get the tanginess. So the purple is the winner for that one, even though it's not really, that's not why we're doing this. I'm doing this for reviewing other candies. And let's move on to the next. Is Nerds. The Nerd rope is not what I'm talking about. I'm just going to talk about the original Nerds and where they came about. Just to let you know, Nerd ropes, I didn't know were Canadian as well, and I found them in Canada. But when we would go to the border, I'd always buy these Nerd ropes. I couldn't find Nerds, that's why I'm using the ropes, but I love ropes. The ropes. But who invented Nerds? They were introduced in 1983 by the Sunmark Corporation, the same company behind Pixie Sticks and Sweethearts. Oh, wow. I didn't realize they were sweet tarts. They were sweethearts. How did I just think of that? Wow. So they're tiny, crunchy, and come into separate flavors in one box. Something super unique at the time. So when you would open one side, if you wanted that flavor more, you could open that side. Or if you wanted the other one, same thing. Or you could open both at the same time if you wanted a mix. I always ate the ones I liked first more so. But the ropes are good. I like the jelly on the inside. And how they're made, they start as a small sugar crystal that are coated in flavor in rotating drum, building up layers by layer. And it was inspired by a creature in Dr. Seuss' book If I Ran the Zoo, just a fun quirky name that stuck. The flavors, the original flavors were strawberry and grape. They were the first combo, and they still are popular today. Definitely they have changed over time. Now there's Nerd ropes, big chewy Nerds, or like the Nerds gummy clusters that went viral, which I think is like the Nerd clusters come from these. I think I don't know for sure. Like the Nerd ropes, I'm not 100% sure, and they're nostalgic because they're the tiny box when you shake, the shaking sound, the neon colors, and we're totally 80s and 90s in a lunchbox staple, especially in Lunchables. I remember not clusters, but Nerd boxes being in Lunchables as well. That's for Nerds, and I think we're moving on to the candy bracelets. Forgetting, I did not test out this Nerd rope. Sorry, guys. I forgot how good these were. The jelly on the inside makes it less sour. I find sometimes Nerds can be a little on the sour side from what I remember. Okay, now let's move on to the candy bracelets. Okay, so now we're moving on from Nerd clusters to candy bracelets. These here, let me know in the comments below if you guys were obsessed with these as kids. I was more obsessed with the necklace because there was more candy. We're gonna try them, don't worry. But they were gaining popularity in 1950s and 1960s as a fun mix of toy and treat. Multiple companies produced them, but Necco New England Confectionery Company helped make them mainstream in the US. They're made of dehydrated sugar and flavoring, basically a chalky sweet version of hard candy, which is another feeling I didn't like because when you had to go up on the board in front of everyone with the chalk. Ugh. Anyways, you could wear it, and of course it was a huge thing for kids back in the day because you could wear it and eat it at the same time. And they came in necklaces, rings, and watches. So I wonder if this one's a watch, because this is kind of the big, like, here. Oh, it is a watch. Oh, I got a watch. Cool. Okay. And of course they're still around, and what makes them nostalgic is you always got these in a loot bag at sleepovers or birthday party loot bags, school carnivals. It was 80s and 90s kid energy, or just 2000s kids too. I was a 2000s kid, I was a 90s baby, so it was popular in the 2000s as well, I believe. But that is it for this. So let's give it a try. Let's try to remember. But I'll show you. I got the watch because you could see the. How do you focus? I don't know if you can, but you could see the clock. There you go, a little bit. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the candy here. Hey, it still fits. Still fits. Oh, cool. Haven't had that in a long time. They're tasty though. From what I remember, they are pretty tasty. Okay. There's a candy watch, technically. I don't know if this is a disclaimer or not, but 4+ only. Probably because of the string. Oh, baby could probably choke on the string. And a baby probably shouldn't be eating those anyways. Okay, I think we're moving on to our last one. I'm probably not going to open it because I feel like it's just going to be a waste. But the Kool-Aid, well, not Kool-Aid, but Baby Bottle Pops. This one's a Kool-Aid edition. So let's go into that one. Okay, for the Baby Bottle Pops here, this one's Kool-Aid edition. Okay, so I couldn't find the regular original edition, so we're going to go with the Kool-Aid edition. They launched in 1998, created by Topps Company, known for fun novelty candies. What exactly is a baby bottle pop? It's a plastic baby bottle filled with powdered sugar and a hard candy nipple, and you dip and lick, kind of like a twist on Fun Dip, which makes sense. So you take this candy piece here, the Kool-Aid man there, and you dip it into the powdered sugar here, and you just lick it off. That's all you do. I have not tried the Kool-Aid. I don't know if I'm going to try it. I don't quite want to waste it, you know. I feel like it'll just go bad, and I want to give it away to maybe a kid, one of my, maybe some kids, because we have some parties coming up this weekend, so maybe I'll bring candy for the kids. What flavors were originally available? Blue raspberry, strawberry, watermelon, cherry. This one is, because it's Kool-Aid, it's a cherry and grape. I don't know if I've ever recall it a grape flavored baby bottle pop. Of course, the market was kids. Those into wacky interactive candies. The jingled even said you can lick it, shake it, and dunk it. Definitely you could double dip. That's what they're meant to be for, right? And they're fun, silly, and messy in the best way. Plus the commercials and theme songs were unforgettable. I don't know if I quite remember those ones. And they did obviously evolve over time, seeing that there's Twist, 2D Max, and Sour editions to keep the brand fresh. So maybe I will do a theme of getting different baby bottle pops one day just to try them. They screamed late 90s, early 2000s energy from TV ads to school snack trades, and they were everywhere, which I totally believe. Let me know in the comments below if you remember any of these from your childhood. Which one was your favorite? I would say my favorite were probably the Nerds out of all the ones we tried, including the Mike and Ike's. Nerds were my favorite. Mike and Ike's came, I started liking them more in my teenage years. Nerds I grew up with and loved them. So, same with Sweet Tarts, but Nerds are my number one. And the Baby Bottle Pop would definitely be number 2. And that is it for me. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. We'll chat soon. Bye now.